Well, can you see? Spring is in the air. That's the title of our new set of dies in the Delightful Dimensionals collection. And it's just so much fun. And wait till you see what Debbie has done. Let me show you the card that is on the package. So here it is. I'm going to pop it up. And look at that. How fun. And what a bright spot for anyone who receives this. So Debbie's got lots of ideas, and we would love it if you would please come play with us. Well, as I said, this is part of the Delightful Dimensionals collection, and every month we do a brand new set of dies that are very seasonal, and that just gives us something to play with for the season. They can be used on the basic crosshatch. Now that's the card that I showed you earlier, but let me just show you how this is made. So there are 4 pieces, and they are slotted just to slip together, just like this. So we've got a narrow one there, a little bit taller one, and then of course this is our back brace, and they just slip in, and when you want it to stand up, you just go like that. So this becomes your base, and the designers use generally our patterned cardstock to create this. Where would you write your message? Well, right on the back. That's the place. Okay, so I'm going to close this down. These will fit in our 10 envelopes. So, you know, we just never leave you in the lurch, so you always have something. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Spring is in the Air. There are 5 dies. And so you've got your tree, and you've got 2 birds, you've got Spring is in the Air, and then you've got some grass, some greenery. And because we are using a new thin cut, we're going to get in super close here, I've cut these out for you. So can you see that? Yes, those are actually cut into the cardstock as you run it through the machine. I love that little eye there. That is part of the cutting die. And you can play with it however you want. So there's this one, and then there's this one that also has the cuts and that little eye. The same thing on the tree. The tree has some cuts there. You might want to push those forward if you want to. You don't have to. There's another little one down there just to give you some dimension. And as I said, Spring is in the Air, and then the grass, you can do that multiple times if you like. So that's what we have. Oh, I didn't tell you, but having these cut like this makes it so much easier if you want to add either ink pads or markers, and you can really see the separations and the different areas of the project, in this case, the little bird. So that's why we do it. And then, of course, on the package, there is always an idea, and that is the first one that I showed you. So let me bring this back. So it's going to be mailed flat, and then it's going to pop up. And you kind of hear that crinkle. Well, that's as the papers are moving. And so it looks just like this. Now, what Debbie used to create this is our wildflowers and wildlife. This is a 6x6. And the one that she used is this. It is actually the back side of this for the base in the back. Then she edged it with khaki ink pad. And then she did the steps. You can see how this greenery down here just played really nicely. So you've got flowers, you've got greenery. Then well, you can see exactly what she's done. For all of the dies, in fact, that's true pretty often, is that the designers use our solid cardstock. And of course, that's designed to coordinate perfectly with the paper. So this is Wildflowers and Wildlife 12x12 solid, and Wildflowers and Wildlife 6x6. And let me just show you a little bit what else she did. So she has the bird, but she did another cut through her die on the brown, and then just cut out that wing. She did the same thing on that little bird. But you see how easy it is to color in when everything is perfectly lined up for you, and it just makes having those lines just easy. So you can see she went in with a marker and just went over those lines just to give them more dimension. Now she did this little guy around his eye, and that's another piece that you can do should you want to. Spring is in the Air in purple. You can see the green. And then on the back, whoops, that's where you would put your message. And there's lots of room there. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so that is our first one. And let me show you another. Now, she has done a second with the basic crosshatch. And isn't that just lovely? Very different look, don't you think? Just by changing the colors. Now here, she did 2 layers, 2 cuts of the grass. So 1, 2 here, and layered them darker and lighter. And then did the same thing on the middle piece, or with 2 pieces. Now the back, let me show you. This is using Flit and Flutter. That's a brand new collection this year. And you see that gorgeous corner? Well, that's what she used to die cut the back. How gorgeous is that? And of course, she is using the coordinating solids, the Flit and Flutter solids. And you can see all the colors that are in there. And that is what she used to do her birds, of course, all of the greenery. Now, from my heart to yours, how gorgeous is that? That is the Flit and Flutter die cuts. So there it is. In fact, you can see that. These are already die cut. You can just add them. She has foam taped that in place. Then she went into the papers and cut out a butterfly to add right there. But isn't the detail on those? Let's get in close to see those birds. Look at that. So again, now this is flat, and so she just colored that in, colored that wing in. Doesn't that look nice? You can use markers, you can use pens. So really good. And on the back of this, look what she did. That's where the tree is. Be Well Soon, that's also out of the die cuts. And then she added a blue bow. So very pretty. And this is just going to fold flat to get mailed. So that's going to work nicely. Okay, look at this. Isn't this fun? Now this is our 5 by 6.5 inch card. And for this, she has done a couple of different things. So let me first kind of bring in the Flit and, excuse me, this is Threaded Whimsy, beg your pardon. And so for the front of her card, she has used this sheet. Now this is on the back of this sheet, gorgeous. And you can see the darker to lighter. Well, that's what she has done. And so she covered her 5 by 6.5 inch card with that blue dot. Then she die cut 3 of the grassy areas and did a little inking with the khaki ink pad. Now this is part of the package, and so let me just show you. Here we are, Threaded Whimsy. All of the artwork looks like it has been embroidered. In fact, the original was. And look what she's done. She's taken this nest, fancy cut it out, and put it right here, foam taped it right there. That is really interesting. And she added the white tiny buttons. They are very tiny, and just glued those. Now this is the bird, the bigger bird. And that's, as you can see, it's different colors than what she's already shown you. And I love how she put, let's get in super close because I want to show you that eye, because it looks really cute in person. So she put a white piece of cardstock and then just did a little dot of blue. Let's see, now it's getting fuzzy. Okay, camera, steady up, camera, it's still fuzzy. It looks like it to me. But anyway, it's right there. And then she fussy cut that out. This is one of the die cuts from our Threaded Whimsy. And it is this package. There's always 31. She used the blue ribbon set to tie that bow. And on the inside, excuse me, I didn't tell you, but the birds, all of the pieces that are out of the cutting die are out of Threaded Whimsy solid cardstock, as you can see. Okay, now let's look inside this card. And look what she has. How pretty. This is another background sheet in the set. Here is got all of the words and phrases, the greetings, and you can see treasure each day is right here. She's put a blue piece of cardstock. And then another colors of the birds. I really like that. I appreciate it. More of the greenery. So we want to make sure that they have a place to roost or to stand or to sit, as the case may be. Isn't that fun? Okay, I have one more card, and she did something really neat with this. Okay, so here we are. This is, again, our 5 by 6.5 inch card. And in this one, she has used, let me bring this in. This is the wildflowers and wildlife. Now that's what she used on the very first card, but this time it's the 12 by 12, okay? And I wanted to show you, so you see, this is wildflowers and wildlife. Now, if you don't need that bunny, you can do what Debbie has done. She turned the sheet. Look what she did. She cut down the art and trimmed that and glued that into her card. But first she covered it with the light pink, and that light pink is out of the wildflowers and wildlife solid cardstock that I showed you in the very first card. So she's used these on the first card and the last card. Then she used 2 of the colors with the oval dies, and you can see she used an oval one and then a scalloped one as the backing. And so foam tape that in that open area of her card. We've got another little bird right there, and that has been used with the velvet fawn, has been done to accent those pieces. Now for the eye here, she just put a little piece of black cardstock behind it, and that way you get another look. Now she did do the greenery out of the dotted. You can get in, if we get in closer, you can see that. So you can use the patterned or the solid. And I love that bird. Isn't that pretty? I love the little top knot. Just darling. Okay, we're going to back up because I want to show you this. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you. There is the pink border dazzles right along that edge. Okay, now I'm going to open this up. And look what she did. And I think it is bloody brilliant. Okay, so she has used other areas of this same sheet and cut them down so they would fit on the inside of her card. But look how that tree moves. How neat is that? Okay, so what did she do? Now somewhere on this table, I have my little piece. Here it is. Okay, so let me show you. So she has 2 pieces. There's one at the bottom, and you see there's one kind of at the top. So she die cut out her tree. She did it out of the tan and out of the green, and then cut the green and put it on top. This is on a striped of the paper. But then she cut a piece. Now she's going to cut 2 of these, 4.5 inches by 1/2 inch. So cut 2 of those. Then I'm going to show you how to score it. So that's my messy 1/2 inch. So go in 1/2 inch and score it. Go 1.5 inches and score it. Go 1/2 inch and score it. Go 1.5 inches and score it. And what you're going to have, when you fold on all of those score lines, is a piece that you can attach to itself to make this piece. And this is the piece that is going to hold that tree up and away from the card. So I think that's probably the best way that you can see it. So you see how it is glued to the card base, and then also just after the fold, or against the fold too, and then going up. So it's going to be like this. You're going to put this together. I would recommend extra sticky tape. And then you'll attach it down here and then to the card, and do the same thing up here. Or you can attach it to the tree, whichever you like. I think doing it to the card would be better. Then you can position your beautiful big tree on it, oops, like there. And then you can have your bird, you can have the greenery, the grass down there, and just nice. Brighter Days Are Here, that's one of the pieces out of the paper pad. And then we've got the pink border dazzles right there. But I love that. I think you want to make note of this. 4.5 by 1/2, and then all those score marks. So you're going to score 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then inch and a half, and then you'll have a 1/2 inch in the middle. That way you end up with this little open box that you can put. This will come in very handy. Okay, so thank you, Debbie. I think it's brilliant and I love it. Okay, so that works nicely. Okay, these are just some of the things that you can do. And with having our basic crosshatch and our spring is in the air, very fun, lots of things that you can do with this. And we also, do I hear you asking, do you have a subscription? Why, yes, we do. First, there is this money saver on the right-hand side of your screen. Then this is the subscription. Now, we come up, we'll get a little bit closer. We come up with a brand new cutting die every single month, and they are all seasonal, so that gives you a place for those. And if you sign up to get the subscription, you will receive them before the webisode. That means that you will get this and the idea on the back of it before the webisode. So that gives you kind of, you can be playing with that and some ideas. You also are going to save 10% off of the retail, and you're going to get a free gift. This month, you are getting one of the die cut sheets out of Flit and Flutter. Remember, From My Heart to Yours, that was the second card. So you're going to get one or the other. So it's going to be this one or it's going to be this one. One or the other is your free gift. And so you get a free goodie every single month. So that's very fun. And if you join the subscription, the very first month you're going to receive both of these. But after that, you are only going to receive the seasonal die and the free gift, of course. So that's what we have for you. So it works out really well, and you have a chance to save a little money. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we would love it if you would head on over to Paper Wishes, because that is the only place on this planet that you can buy these. That's right. They are exclusive to paperwishes.com, and we would love to share them with you. And I do want to thank Debbie. She just does a wonderful job. You might notice that we're showing you two using the basic crosshatch and two out of just the regular cards, but she certainly makes them magical, doesn't she? And I think Delightful Dimensionals is a good name for this whole brand. I want to thank Debbie for just doing such an excellent job and for allowing me to share it with you. I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. Thank you, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.